Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to my F124 settings video. Today we are gonna be showing my settings that I use for F124 to help you guys out a little bit. Not much has been changed, of course, on the settings front, so I'm just gonna go through this quite quick. Assist, of course, we are running it all off. I'll just explain a little bit what every single assist does. Steering assist obviously speaks for itself. The game helps you steer in and out of a corner, basically. Braking assist. Now, if you're very much a beginner and you're basically not braking, which happens a lot to people that just start out playing F1, then the game will brake for you, basically. Especially if you play on braking assist high, I don't think you have to brake at all. So yeah, that could help you out a little bit. Anti-lock brakes, also known as ABS, basically stops your tires from locking if you put too much brake pressure on relative to how much grip you have. Traction control stops the rear tires from spinning, so you don't spin out on the exit of a corner. Now, I don't think that will be very much of an issue on this game because there's a lot of traction at the moment, a lot of grip. ABS and traction control is both in basically everyone's road cars these days as well. Racing line helps you find your braking points, turn-in points. So yeah, if you don't really know where the track is going, that can help you out to see where you have to brake, where you have to turn in, and where you have to go on throttle. Gearbox, now obviously we are shifting manually. If you don't want to be shifting yourself, you can put it to automatic or put it to manual and suggested gear, which then you still have to shift manually, but it shows what gear you should be in. Not a huge fan of that, because, yeah, it's a bit shit. So yeah, we keep that on manual, but if you don't want to shift yourself through the gears, put it on automatic. Pit assist helps you guide into the pit lane. We have to make a pit stop, and then you don't have to do anything yourself, basically, until you're completely back out on track. ERS assist, it's basically so that you don't have to touch the overtake button at all yourself, or have to change ERS mode yourself. Not a fan of that as well, simply due to the fact that it doesn't really work well. So yeah, I think you should just do that yourself, and just press the overtake button whenever you're on 100% battery. DRS assist, if you don't want to press any buttons to open your DRS, the drag reduction system, so you go faster on the straight. This works great because the second you go over a DRS line, it automatically opens for you. So yeah, if you don't want to press any buttons to open that, turn that on. Very much suggest that for people who just started out, because you don't want to be looking at all that kind of stuff. Then onto the camera customization. I'm using TV pod offset again because I prefer this field of view rather over TV pod. Well, this is the default cam, which is terrible, as you can see. I can show it here, but yeah, it's very zoomed out and very high FOV. You can see the helmet as well blocking the steering wheel. I don't like that. Whereas this one, as you can see, just shows the top of the steering wheel, which I like, because then I can see the delta on the steering wheel as well. I can see the fuel, and yeah, then I've got the HUD just right above that, so I can still see the steering wheel. So I love this camera view. I'm not going to change it. I kept it the same from F123. Same with the HUD settings. I will put the document of the HUD folder under my video, if that's possible. It's only for PC users, so yeah, if you're on PlayStation or Xbox, you cannot use that, but if you are on PC, then you can just load that HUD into the documents folder, which I will show right now. So you go to Documents, then My Games, F124, HUD customization, and then you just put that folder in here, and it will automatically change your HUD to the one I'm using, if you like it, of course. If not, don't do it. Simple as that. So yeah, this is my camera settings. -20 TV put offset. Edit camera settings. Oh yeah, that's global, so that's Basically for all cars it stays the same. -20, -12, 10, 0, -11, 0, 0, 0. Very important, in my opinion, is that you put camera shake and camera movement both to 0, because that's just distracting, very annoying. Same with look to apex. In my opinion, keep that stuff off, because, yeah, it's just distracting. You're already naturally moving your head in real life. You don't want it to happen in the game as well. I feel like I just, yeah, kind of lose coordination with it in the game. On-screen display done. Now this is the HUD customization I was talking about. We are not changing that because I just put the folder from F123 in F124, so I didn't have to touch it at all. Now I've not put everything here to my liking as well. On-screen display in cockpit view, put that on. So you've got the HUD in the bottom right. I can show it actually right here. It's basically so you've got the HUD here as well. Now you can put it off, but again, I wouldn't be a huge fan of that because it's just extra information that you kind of need. Whereas if you put it off, you can see that's gone. The minimap is gone. The ERS kind of HUD is gone. So yeah, in my opinion, keep the on-screen display for cockpit view on. Speedometer units, we're using kph of course, but that's very personal. Same for the temperature. I'm using full track map so I can kind of plan and see who is coming up behind me on an outlap. Delta time, yeah, I love to have that on because kind of that way I can check where I'm losing out on track. Proximity arrows helps with wheel-to-wheel racing, so you can see the arrows of where someone is behind you. Driver tags, sometimes I put them off on tracks like Monza and Las Vegas. Sometimes they block your brake marker boards, and yeah, it depends on the camera view you use as well, a little bit. But yeah, I like to turn those off sometimes. Start lights, I put them on because it's an advantage to rather seeing them in really far into the distance. If you want to go all immersive, you have to turn them off. Virtual rear view mirror, I keep it off. A lot of esports drivers turn it on. It's basically just, yeah, the mirror, so you don't have to look back, but it's distracting in my opinion. You can see there, actually you can't see it really well. You can see there, it's actually blocking my view, but you could change it, but I'm not turning it on anyway. So make sure that if you do load in my HUD settings, that you have to change the virtual rearview mirror because I never use it, I've never changed it. Permanent session timer, turn it on, helps with planning your runs in qualifying, in my opinion. Always display objective panel. I've turned that off, I don't even know what it is to be honest, but it's probably something for career mode. But yeah, it will be just annoying in my opinion and distracting. On to the force feedback settings then. And as you can see, I'm on 45 force feedback. I was on 70 on F123, and I've gone down 25. And yeah, I just think it's because there's so much tire grip that the force feedback goes up as well automatically. Obviously, more grip equals more force in your hands. So yeah, I've gone down to 45 just because I felt better with it. So yeah, I've gone down a lot, 25% in-game. I've kept my in-game wheel or my in-wheel settings the same from Fanatec. And then yeah, on-track, rumble, off-track, pit stop effects. That's new actually. And wheel damper to 0. For more immersion, you could turn the pit stop effects or higher. Same for the off-track effects, I reckon. Rumble strip and on-track. But yeah, they're just a bit distracting and sometimes a little bit random in my opinion. So big change as well for F124. I think we've all seen the handling is a little bit weird. One thing that made me feel a lot more at one with the car was turning the wheel rotation up to 400 in my wheel and in the game. That way the car felt a lot less snappy on the front end. Like it was really sensitive. So I've gone up to 400 where on F123 I was using 300. So I'm feeling much better on 400. And a lot of my handling issues were, or the handling issues I had with F124 were not fixed, but it was kind of drivable again, in my opinion. So that's really important to me. The 400 wheel rotation, I might be going down a little bit to, at maximum, I think so, 360. So if you're using 280 degrees wheel rotation or 300 on F123, in my opinion, you should go up to between 350, 360 to 400, 420. But again, try that out yourself. I felt a lot better on 400 wheel rotation. So yeah. On to the graphic settings. Motion blur strength, turn that all the way off. Gamma adjustment is obviously just kind of the brightness of your screen. I'm just keeping that on standard. Steering animation, I always keep it on because, yeah, I like seeing my in-game wheel. I'll do that on other sims as well. Let's go on to video mode first before we go on to the graphics. Now I'm playing on 1440p. Of course, the higher you go, kind of, the better it looks, But obviously, you lose a little bit of FPS. But that's not really an issue on the F1 games because we're capping our FPS to 60 anyway, simply due to the fact that it's faster. So, yeah. If you turn your frame rate limit off, if I'm on low graphics, I go up to 500 FPS. But if you go up to 500 FPS, I think you lose 2 to 3 tenths per lap relative to 60 FPS. So, very important for all the PC players. Put the frame rate limit on to 60 if you want more pace. If you don't care about pace, don't do it. But 60 FPS is faster. And it's probably going to stay like that. So, yeah. VSync, turn it off. Whenever you turn it on, it looks shit. You get a lot of input delay. VSync interval, I always keep it on 1. Never have any issues with that. Refresh rate, put it as high as you can. Again, a lot of these, I think none of these settings are even in consoles on PlayStation and Xbox. So skip this part. If you're on console, basically. Holy smokes, I got a brain fade. Now, output monitor is just if you've got triple screen and your monitor is on the wrong screen and you're playing on single screen, then change this. But yeah, this is now my middle screen, so I'm going to keep it there. Usually I always run this on 16x. I'm not sure why I turn it off. But yeah, 16x and TAA and Fidelity FX sharpening has always been the best in the past 7 F1 games for me. 6, 5, something like that. This is what I've always run. Whenever I change it, just the viewing experience got worse, and I didn't gain any FPS for it back, which we don't even need at the moment anyway. So yeah, and this stuff I've not changed at all, so I've not touched this. So yeah, on to the graphics. Running ultra high at the moment. I'm gonna turn that to ultra low soon, I reckon, or maybe keep it on high. Again, for F1 Esports, we have to run high, so might keep it like that. One issue I had on the last game was whenever I turned ray tracing on, I had really, really bad FPS. The screen freezes as well. So I tested it just before this video, didn't have any issues. But if you do have issues, consider turning this to medium and turn all of these off. And then you can keep this on ultra high. Now, also, if you are struggling with bad screen freezes, just turn it to ultra low, because I'm getting around 500 FPS on ultra low and 1440p, but I'm only getting like 80, 70 FPS on ultra high if I turn the FPS cap off. So massive difference on that. But yeah, if you're struggling for FPS, then turn this off. Simple as that. On to the audio settings. I've turned the music off because otherwise I get copyright striked. And then yeah, obviously this just speaks for itself, right? Volume of other cars, effects, master volume, voice chat volume. Now, this one is important. Onboard mix on broadcast sounds 100 times better than the driver and the cinematic, in my opinion. Again, you can try yourself, but the broadcast one sounds a lot better, in my opinion. Subtitles on, mono mix off. If you've got tinnitus, you can put the relief filter on, but I don't have tinnitus, so I'm gonna keep that off. Speaker type, headphones, but obviously, again, speaks for itself. Just put whatever you're using. If you're using a soundbar, TV speakers, put it on that. We're using headphones. I have no idea even what this changes, but we're gonna keep it like that because it's good. Engineer ducking, I always turn it to off because I want to keep my in-game sound the same. If you turn it light or heavy, then your in-game sound goes lower when your engineer starts speaking, which is not what I want. Play audio when game is in background, off. Spatial audio on. Audio simulation quality high. Now, if you've got a crackling noise on your headset, for example, it is probably because your CPU is getting overloaded. If you turn this low or ultra low, then that improves and that issue is going to be gone. So, yeah, if you're getting CPU overload or you've got that crackling noise all the time, you can turn this down and that issue will be solved. Now, language obviously speaks for itself. Just choose whatever you want. Multiplayer, I always put mute by default on because I don't want to hear the in-game chat, and push to talk so no one in the game can hear me while I'm driving. Now again, it's up to you. If you like to speak with randoms in open lobbies and you think that's fun, obviously don't do that. Put mute by default off and push to talk off as well. Upshift tone helps you upshift at the right time. You basically hear a beep whenever you reach the right RPM to upshift. Formation lab parking sensor, I keep it on, not sure why. Can turn it off as well. Radio verbosity, I turn it to responses only always, because otherwise I just get a load of nonsense from your in-game engineer. I'm still hoping that someday you don't get strategy updates as well, basically, because they ruin F1 Esports races. Looking at you, Nicholas. And then music, we turn that off. We've turned the volume off from music, so that is the audio settings. Telemetry, we're not using that at the moment. Accessibility options, yeah, not really anything for us. Adaptive triggers for your controller. If you like that, can turn it off as well, or on strong trigger vibration on. That's all controller settings. Colorblind, dynamic racing line, and the tinnitus relief filter, which we already had in the audio settings as well. So eye and head tracking and music are not anything for us. So we can go over the time trial settings as well. Display my ghost, which is your own personal best ghost in time trial. Kind of speaks for itself, right? Same for the racing line, but then you can do the same for the rival in time trial. Now you can set your rival in time trial to the best person. So in this case, it's Thomas with a 139.6. And then if you go to time trial settings, you can see the rival's ghost and the rival's racing line, basically where they break. So yeah, you can also reset your time trial app if you want. But that were all the settings I can think of, to be honest. Hope you guys found something with it. If not, I'm sorry. I will be doing some tutorials as well over the next couple of weeks about multiple things to help you guys out. And yeah, make sure to subscribe as well. Make sure to like the video to support the channel, and see you guys next time. Ciao.